Imagine a unique paradise sleeping quietly in Central Asia, waiting to be discovered. This paradise has not only been home to unparalleled riches throughout history, but has also aroused intense interest in many famous leaders. This land of unique traditions and extremely friendly people is none other than Uzbekistan. Even today, these people carry the same excitement and love in their hearts, continuing the traditions of their ancestors, loving Islam and making their land the paradise of Central Asia. The best example of this is Samarkand becoming the Pearl of the East and Bukhara becoming a strong center of Islam. On the other hand, these lands were the starting point of such famous scholars as Ibn Sina, Ferghani, and Khwarezmi. Every city in this country, without exception, is full of historical riches. For example, during the reign of Timur, the greatest ruler in history and the founding leader of the Turkic Empire, the largest and most spectacular cities in the world were within the borders of Uzbekistan. As a result of hard struggles, Timur saved Central Asia from the Mongol invasion and ensured the continuation of the Uzbek lineage. In that period, despite the difficult battles, unique madrasas were also built, which are of great interest even today. For example, the Rajasthan madrasas in Samarkand were among the first madrasas built in Central Asia and are listed as a World Heritage Site by UNESCO. So much so that when you visit this unique heritage site, you can see that it still retains its former splendor. Now I think you are following my channel and I am going deeper into this rich country. Uzbekistan is home to approximately 24 million people as of 35. It also declared its independence in 1991 with the dissolution of the Soviet Union. So Uzbekistan has been an independent state for only 33 years. In those years, the Soviet Union left its mark on this ancient land. But despite this, the Uzbek people were extremely patriotic and managed to preserve their ethnic identity, language, and religion. So much so that even though Russian was chosen as the official language at the time, Uzbeks used and developed their own language. Uzbeks are also rich in traditional handicrafts, literature, and music. In addition, the majority of the country is Muslim, and Islamic values are of great importance to these people. Uzbekistan generally grows products such as cotton and wheat and contributes to the economy by exporting them to other countries. The currency of the country is known as Sum. The country is rich in resources such as oil, gas, and even gold, but a large part of the population struggles with economic problems. Thousands of Uzbek citizens are forced to send money to their families by working in different countries for this very reason. So, nearly 33 years of independence have not been a good time for Uzbekistan. But I can still say that the country is progressing economically and has a promising future. On the other hand, in the mystical geography of Central Asia, you can travel from Samarkand to Bukhara in a few hours by train. On this journey, you will see the traces of the ancient Silk Road and travel back in time to a unique dream. In Bukhara, you will encounter a unique masterpiece that lies deep in history. This is the Kalan Minaret. Built in 1127, this magnificent monument has stood the test of time despite the Mongol invasion. In this sense, you will not be able to hide your admiration when you see it. Another element in Uzbekistan's cultural structure is carpet weaving. In fact, Iran is the first country that comes to mind when it comes to carpet weaving, but believe me, Uzbekistan is not lagging behind in this sense. These unique hand-woven carpets are made by skilled Uzbek women and then sold in markets to make a living. The country's economic dynamics are also shaped by imports. For example, the automotive sector shapes the country's import policies. Since imports cause high taxes in Uzbekistan, brands such as Chevrolet and General Motors started to be produced. In fact, if you visit the country, you can see that Chevrolet cars are frequently used. The pulse of the region as a commercial center is undoubtedly the famous covered bazaar in Tashkent. With its huge dome reaching to the sky, this bazaar is the first place that comes to mind when it comes to cultural shopping. The people here are characterized by their friendliness and hospitality. For example, you are curious about a food and want to try it. If you were in another country, this might not be allowed. However, the locals here are very sincere about letting you enjoy that flavor, and they make shopping a fun experience. While walking the streets of Uzbekistan, you can easily find and taste Samarkand's famous halva, sunflower seed vending machines, and the sour cheese they call kurt. Also, in places like Samarkand and Tashkent, you can watch the artistic making of the famous Uzbek bread. Turning this bread into a work of art, Uzbek bakers produce thousands of loaves every day. The careful craftsmanship and ingredients used in the making of the bread make it very different from the bread you can find everywhere. So much so that these breeds have nutritional content and durability. In fact, it has become an indispensable staple food for soldiers for this reason alone. Of course, bread is not the only gastronomic attraction of this unique country. It is also one of the most meat-consuming countries in Central Asia and is famous for its street food. Pilaf, on the other hand, is Uzbekistan's pride and joy, and in almost every restaurant it is started early in the morning by special masters. Thousands of kilos of meat, chickpeas, rice, oil, and carrots are thrown into huge cauldrons and simmered for hours to create a unique flavor. One of the most important details is that the meat is cooked very well, because Uzbek people never like undercooked meat. Then this traditional flavor is blended by the masters and presented to both locals and tourists accompanied by prayers. You can understand this from here. If you visit Uzbekistan, you will find plenty of bread, plenty of rice, and plenty of meat, because these are the cornerstones of the country's culinary culture. So if you are thinking of going to Central Asian countries or even living there, you have to like meat. And I'm not just talking about lamb or veal, but also horse meat. Yes, you heard that right, because horse meat is also added to pilaf, the traditional flavor of Uzbekistan. In fact, many families keep horse meat at home and use it in their meals in abundance. For this reason alone, the country's elderly are struggling with heart disease and vascular occlusion. This problem is common not only in Uzbekistan but also in Kyrgyzstan. On the other hand, in rural areas of Uzbekistan, there is a people who live on pastries called samsa. This food is similar in appearance to seashells and is made by local people. This is because they do not want to buy bread or pastries from outside. On the other hand, they contribute to the flavor of Uzbek cuisine with their unique cooking methods. Life in Uzbekistan is not only characterized by culinary and historical richness, the dynamism of daily life is also quite remarkable. For example, Tashkent, known as the most populous city in Central Asia, bears the traces of Soviet Russia with its unique architecture and wide avenues and fascinates those who see it. Although Uzbekistan has a vast territory of 449,000 square kilometers, it is not densely populated. This makes the cities extremely spacious and livable. In addition, Tashkent is the most populous city in Central Asia with a population of 3 million. In addition, playgrounds and unique architectural structures from the Soviet-Russian era reflect the identity, spirit, and art of this city. When you visit these places, you will understand better what I mean. Another aspect indicating the cultural diversity in the country is the language. In this sense, Russian has an important place in daily life. You can even see Russian writings on many signs in the cities. The language used by Uzbeks is quite similar to Turkish, because they are close to Turkey both geographically and in terms of identity. The metro system in Tashkent is vital and widely used. It was inaugurated in 1977 and was the first metro system in Central Asia. On the other hand, while walking through the streets of Tashkent, you may also come across street vendors selling different products. These colorful landscapes will surely delight you. But later on, you will come across begging children and realize that the city is not all a dream. Also, if you want to sit somewhere on the street, someone will probably come up to you and ask you for money. If you don't give it to them, they disappear. In Uzbekistan, trains are especially used for intercity travel. Those who use these trains are extremely elegantly dressed gentlemen. In Uzbekistan, which is not very stable economically, the current minimum wage is around $320. I can say that this number goes up to $500 for ordinary workers. If we look at Uzbekistan in general, it is a truly fascinating destination with its incredible culture, history, and rich cuisine. In fact, for this reason alone, it receives a significant number of immigrants from European and American countries. However, I cannot say that it is a country where you can earn money to live your life. So it can be great for traveling, but frustrating for living. I would be very happy if you subscribe to my channel. Take care of yourselves.